and welcome to a new lecture in the RICS SPA Essentials course. This course is crafted specifically for those who want to get chartered under the Senior Professional Assessment route through the Quantity Surveying pathway. In today's lecture, we're going to be tackling managing resources, excluding human resources, and that is due to tackling managing people in a separate lecture. In this lecture, we're going to be tackling managing resources, excluding human resources in the following way. We're going to be starting what is the scope of this area of competence and what are the requirements of the RICS, and then we're going to jump to identification of the different resources types and how to manage each and every single one of these resources, and then we're going to be jumping to thinking of ways of how we can apply the knowledge accumulated into real life projects and how we can strategize the resources allocation and cost management of these resources. And then we're going to be ending the lecture on a very good note on how you can demonstrate the knowledge and also the application into your case studies that you are going to be required to do as part of the senior professional assessment. And now without further ado, let's dive in the lecture. And now let's move to the spatial resources or the spatial planning. And as I've alluded to, the spatial resources, they include offices, different room storage areas that lie under the control of the business. And the main purpose of this area of competence is to understand how you can use them effectively, take into account that they're going to be used for work, and also they have to incorporate the well-being of employees. And all of this has to be done while optimizing costs. So there are a number of steps in the thought process in how to manage spatial resources. The first one is analysis. So understand what are the uses that you're going to require for these spaces, namely how many people or how many employees are working for you, how many desks that you would require, how many bathrooms you have to have in the space, how many changing rooms, how many toilets, how many areas of entry and exit that you have to have. Take into account the evacuation areas and also fire exits. For you to understand this, you'll have to check the legal regulations for the spatial planning. Having understood what are your requirements, you'll then design the space accordingly. I'm not saying that yourself as a director, you will actually design, but you will have accumulated the experience to understand what are the requirements, and then you're going to give these requirements to a specialist or a designer to design the space. And as we've alluded to, you have to think about the number of people, the exits, the number of discs, the spaces for people to maneuver, in addition to areas for maybe practicing some sports. And then once the designer, they're happy with the actual design and you're happy with what they have designed by accounting for all of the requirements, it's gonna be time for implementation and putting things into place in the space. And as we've alluded to, it can be an office, it can be a storage room, using and the likes. Last but not the least, you're always going to monitor because this process is iterative. Once you have everything in place, you're going to monitor the usage and you're going to learn from any mistakes and you're going to refine accordingly. And now moving to the last part of this lecture, which is how you can integrate managing resources, excluding human resources, into your case studies. So as you would find in other lectures in this course, you'll have 3 case studies as an SPA candidate. The first one is normally including the mandatory competencies, taking into account leadership, managing resources, and managing people, in addition to the other mandatory competencies. And the way to integrate this area of competence into your case study is that you have to explain a specific project, what are the tasks that you have undertaken in this project, and also how you succeeded in managing the available resources. Think about different scenarios that you have been put in and how you managed to tackle these scenarios, and showcase the impact of your actions and how it contributed positively to the wider team. There has to be some evidence, and in order to understand the evidence, you can include a benefit cost analysis, but there is a wide variety of samples of evidence or example of evidences that you can also include. So the example of evidences could be related to documentation, where you're going to be putting some budget allocation reports or cost benefit analysis, for example, or if you are comparing, contrasting between different suppliers for furniture, for example, that could be procurement reports or procurement specifications, or that can be linked to the procurement specifications comparison. You can also put in it as an evidence the office plan and how you manage the resources effectively on this plan by allocating the desks in a specific place and making sure that there is a well-being area here or there. Another aspect aspect or another group of evidence examples could be related to the decision records. You might have made a decision in a specific meeting where the minutes record your decision. You can also provide comparisons of costs and specifications provided by different suppliers, in addition to documentation approval provided by yourself, if you are in a position of making decisions and approving specific elements. You can be a person who is not in a place to make decisions, but you are working as a director and you're doing analysis. So you can provide the utilization reports based on your observations and all the data crunching exercises that you have undertaken. You can also provide an evidence of how you have monitored the costs of different resources, which impacted how you manage them properly. And you can also include measures for success and how you manage to use the resources to meet the KPIs that you have chosen based on the industry standards and the benchmarks. And this is all for this video, which is meant to be an extended trailer or a teaser. And if you want to have full access to the full length, the recorded videos, the notes, the presentations, and the question answer banks, do not hesitate to get enrolled on the APC Essentials course on the APC Mastery Path web portal. And you can make the best use of a coupon code, which is APC35 for a 35% discount. All the best in your APC journey. Thanks a lot for watching, and catch you in the next video.